Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, MT, and WandaVision sequel Agatha Coven of Chaos recently had a new title revealed by one actor on the set. But with this being the third title that we've gotten for this project, what could be the common thread among all these titles that could give us a hint as to what the plot of this long-awaited show is even going to be? I think I might have an idea as to what Agatha will be up to in Westview, so let's dive into all these details that we know of, shall we, my nerd babies? But first, like always, NewRockstarsMerch.com got all the coolest, the best clothing items for your nerdy heart to wear on top of that nerdy heart, because you don't want your heart to wear clothes or else you'll die. We got hoodies, shirts, hats, all sorts of really dope, really fun stuff over at NewRockstarsMerch.com. So pick something up for you or someone that you love today. All right, so a recent image posted to Instagram by 19-year-old actor Joe Locke on the set of Agatha Coven of Chaos shows the back of a chair that has a completely different and previously unannounced working title for the production, Agatha of Westview. This is the newest title for this production that we know of after Marvel Studios initially announced the show as Agatha House of Harkness on Disney Plus Day in 2021, only to change the title a few months later to Agatha Coven of Chaos at San Diego Comic-Con in July 2022. A show that will apparently be incorporating a lot of the same citizens of Westview that were traumatized while Wanda Maximoff was working out some personal stuff in WandaVision, with the return of David Payton as John Collins, aka Hurd, David Langle as Phil Jones, Asif Ali Abalash as Tandon/Norm, Emma Caulfield Ford as Sarah, aka Dottie, Deborah Jo Rupp as Sharon Davis, aka Mrs. Hart in the Hex, Amos Glick returning as Dennis the Mailman, Brian Brightman as the Sheriff, and Kate Forbes returning as Evanora Harkness, aka Agatha's mom, which of course makes sense considering where we last left Agatha off at the end of WandaVision, with Wanda cursing Agatha to remain within the confines of Westview, New Jersey, seemingly forever.
Wait. Hiya, hun.
You live here now.
But what is particularly of note here is the confirmation of actress Kate Forbes returning as the leader of the Old Salem Coven, Evanora Harkness, after we saw her get turned into a raisin of Waverly Place by Agatha in a WandaVision flashback. Because I feel like her inclusion specifically, combined with what we know about this production in Agatha in the comics, can give us a big idea of what Marvel Studios is planning for this show. A plan that I believe leads to Agatha turning the entire town of Westview, New Jersey into her own Coven of Chaos. I think that is the link between all these three titles. Westview will be the new House of Harkness and her new Coven of Chaos at the same time. Because if you go back to that scene with Agatha and Evanora Harkness having their last mother-daughter disagreement, an extremely important detail about Agatha's overall character motivations begins to manifest as we learn that a crown of energy is awarded to the most powerful of witches in the world, the witches with the most magical authority to lead a coven of their own someday.
I can be good. No, you cannot.
I strongly believe that Agatha herself, ever since the days of her youth, craved power so much in major part to wanting to be the leader of a coven just like her mom. And we see this kind of proven subtly in WandaVision episode 8 when Agatha takes her mother's brooch off of her dead body to wear for seemingly hundreds of years after she kills her. And in the WandaVision finale when Agatha gasps at the sight of Wanda's crown of chaos energy on her head, pointing to Wanda's dominion over chaos magic.
Give me your power.
Like, Agatha really wants to be in charge, because much like the MCU is full of people with daddy issues, I believe Agatha Harkness is an extremely curious person with serious mommy issues coupled with a really bad control problem. And all of those factors together will lead this Harkness on house arrest to make herself the leader of her own Coven of Chaos in Westview, effectively turning Westview, New Jersey into a modern day MCU version of New Salem. And a big reason why I say this is because Agatha was actually the head of a secret town of magic users called New Salem in the comics. Because after years of persecution, the witches of Salem decided to leave the eyes of mankind and form a secret community of 666 witch members where they could practice their magic away from the judgmental eyes of regular mortals. And everything was great and cool until the strongest witches in the town, called Salem 7, decided to betray Agatha and freaking burn her at the stake, which was super messed up, but then she came back later with via unexplained means, so I guess it's fine now. It's totally fine. If you kill somebody, but they come back to life, it's like you never did it.
Right to jail, right away.
But at any rate, knowing this background of Agatha being the leader of a secret coven of witches in the comics, and knowing that Agatha in the MCU has a reputation for bending the rules placed upon her, I think that all of these returning actors in WandaVision are going to be given a piece of that forbidden chaos knowledge that Agatha learned from the Darkhold. Because you gotta remember, everybody, just because the Darkhold books and Darkhold Castle were destroyed in Multiverse of Madness, those forbidden spells of absorbing magic power still live inside of the mind of Agatha Harkness. And since we know from the first Doctor Strange movie that pretty much anyone who is willing to learn magic can become a master of the mystic arts, I think we might see all of these people of Westview who were recently held hostage by a witch who was depressed and gone mad be lured in by the promise of learning to protect themselves from such witches and other magical threats by Agatha Harkness herself, gradually gifting dark powers to her neighbors over time in order to build her own coven in Westview, just like her mom, because she just wants to be her mom. However, much like she was in the comics, I feel like Agatha will teach the wrong citizens of Westview the dark spells of the Darkhold, which might just lead to a Westview power struggle for leadership of this Coven of Chaos. And I can see Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige going this direction in an attempt to get Agatha to see just how dangerous the Darkhold was and just how difficult being the leader of a coven actually is, allowing for Agatha to finally feel guilt over what she did to her mom and countless other witches over centuries. Because if you think about it, her mom was literally just trying to protect the world from her daughter, who learned the secrets of the Darkhold. And if we learn anything from Multiverse of Madness, is if you read that freaking book, you need to be put to death because you're gonna do some wild shit. I feel like this would be a very logical way to transform Agatha's character from a full-on villain to the kind, reformed helper of Wanda Maximoff and the Fantastic Four family that she originally was in the comics. But yes, that is what I believe to be the common thread between all these three titles: Agatha House of Harkness, Agatha Coven of Chaos, and Agatha of Westview. I think these all are pointing towards Westview becoming a new Coven of Chaos that will be led by one Agatha Harkness. But again, thank you guys like always for watching this video. You can follow me at MasterTainment on Twitter if you want to see me tweet some weird shit and really fun theories, but most importantly, you can follow New Rockstars wherever we are on the social media. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.